Thanks for hanging out with us on Elephant in the Room. Again, like, subscribe, thumbs up as you hang out with us on Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com. Jake Coker, Shank, Alfonso Taylor. I'm Mick Gillispie. Always good to see you guys as we talk Alabama football and a lot of different stuff. All right, so Jake's going to take a break, so it's going to be you and me, Shank.
Let's do it.
Let's pull him right off the screen.
All right.
So what do you think, though? I mean, could they possibly get rid of the 8A game and turn it into a script, like a camp or something? Or do you think that it's always going to be something that Alabama's going to have?
I think it should always remain the 8A game. Because you got to think about, like, people turn up to go tailgate. Like, it's literally like an actual game day for people in T-Town. And so it's like tradition at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should go messing with something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's already.
How did you like playing it?
I loved it because it gave you a sense of where you were at that point in time and what you need to work on, and just it was all competition at that point. Because at that point you were already fighting for position for next year, and so I love spring ball, because like every spring you could just tell you're on a different level from finishing another year, and so I enjoyed it. And I think they should keep it, man. I love like having your family come down. I love having an autograph day during the prep for 8A during that spring. Like I love everything about that. I don't think they should change it.
Yeah. So you'll be there this year, right?
Yeah, I will. I'll be doing an autograph sign at Bryant Denny Museum this year for 8A. I'm excited about that, man. Cool. This will be the first time I'm back in Tuscaloosa since I left.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, because you got to think about it. For me, when I left and stopped playing football because of the concussions and everything. So, like, I stayed away from football for a long time. I just didn't have interest in it outside of me talking about it on Twitter. And so I just started living life, man, and just tunnel vision life. And, like, I'll go back to Tuscaloosa when my former teammates were having camps and stuff. Like, Bo Scarborough had a camp. I went up and worked that. But I just never had any interest in going back to a game. And every time I planned to go back, I'd get sick or something. Like, I planned to go back when they renamed the field for Saban and literally caught the flu that week. And so, but I plan on going back this year, though. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
We're going to start with A-Day.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. As soon as we were done, I was done with football for a while. Yeah. I think you have to. I mean, I think you just get
burnt out of it.
You gotta.
Is it the hype? Is it all the?
I don't know if it's a burnout. I think it's a lot of things.
You need that time to recreate yourself.
It's like a divorce almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been divorced, but if I had to imagine what a divorce is like, that's what I'd picture it as. Mm-hmm. Just kind of a depressing time when you try to figure out what the next step is and how you go about figuring that out. And,
Really?
You got to start something brand new. Yeah. I mean, you got to.
And you play ball at a high level. We did that at a very high level.
Yeah, I mean, it's intense. It's on a big platform. I mean, trying to humble yourself to start something small after football's over.
It was a lifestyle too, though. It was like your entire life was revolved around that.
Oh, and you had a schedule laid out for you to. I mean, I just had that. I had that same conversation with Preston Dial.
Love Preston, by the way.
Oh yeah,
love that guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
we hung out with him in Nashville. We did the show up there.
Preston.
Yeah. What would you do if you all of a sudden just lost your voice?
I guess I'd do sign language.
You can do sign language for comedy shows. You sick somebody.
The thing about it is, like, I do got to protect the pipes.
What would you do if you couldn't broadcast anymore? How depressing would that be?
It'd suck. I mean, I don't know what.
And it's not like
what would I do?
At some point, I mean, it wasn't like I was, sad about not playing football anymore. Like I loved football. To me, it's not like I was absolutely in love with everything about football. It was just the culture of football, being around the guys and having a goal, and just having a team.
Like Coach said, the Coach Saban said he missed the team part of it, but he's got a team at ESPN. But
yeah. But I mean, it's not having that big of a goal with a bunch of guys you get to hang out with every day and
right.
It was different.
Shoot the shit with. And I mean, some of the best times were when practice was over or a workout was over and you sat in your locker and just bullshitted for however long. I mean, I feel like I was one of the. I mean, I was never in a rush to leave the locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You enjoyed that part.
Fun to sit down and just shoot the shit. Ardarius was to my left. J.K. Scott was to my. You talk about polar opposites. I had Ardarius Stewart to my left and J.K. on my right. I got a guy. I mean,
the first thing Ardarius Stewart said to me, I was his host on recruiting trips. What a hoe was that? That's all he wanted to know. What a hoe was that? That's all Ardarius wanted to know. And to know that him and JK were on either side of you, JK probably prayed for him. He probably brought him closer to God by the time it was all said and done.
And I've said it on this podcast I don't know how many times. I mean, Ardarius is he's one of my favorite teammates I've ever had. Just tough as shit. I mean, do anything for you, tough as hell. Just a good dude. And I mean, it's just, I don't know. You're around guys that I mean, you may have different backgrounds, but it's fun as shit because you're all doing the same thing, and you got. I mean, you break your leg in half for the guy next to you, and it doesn't matter. He was asking me if I was telling him about breaking my toe before during camp, and he was like, "Would you have cut your toe off to play?" I was like, "I think I probably would have."
Hell yeah!
I mean, I probably would have.
Absolutely.
I mean,
because there's a lot of shit you did back then that you look back on now and just be like, there was some type of psychotic moment going on to put myself through that. And it's just like, because you had pushed yourself so hard to a point where it's just like the mission is the mission now. It's just like, I'd have made it this far. Like, I'm going to see this shit through no matter what. No matter what. Man, so you probably... I believe you.
I remember when I broke my toe, I was like, I mean, that thing hurt like shit. And I was like, I remember talking to Dr. Waldrop. I go, all right, so he put 2 screws in it. I was like, is there anything that I can do by going all out that's going to hurt this permanently? And he goes, no. I was like, all right, that's all I needed to hear. But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, even if he says yes, like, fuck, I mean, it is what it is anyway.
Right. The decision has been made already. He just asked him because that's what you're supposed to do at this point.
It's like that Theo Vaughn joke.
Well, yeah.
He goes, my cousin got bit by a gay guy. So we'll see. I have to cut that one out.
We're not cutting it out. That's more work for me. Theo Vaughn, though. We need to do some shorts like Theo.
Oh my Lord.
That dude's everywhere, man. Every time I
got to credit Theo Vaughn on that.
That's not a Jake Coker.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't want to plagiarize.
You're on episode 134.
Like
yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't be any worse.
At least that was an original.
That'd be a hell of a show, though. I gotta admit it. Everybody would love it. Could have a cool logo.
Oh, brother.
Oh man. So when you see like the guys that commit to Alabama now, it's different because Coach DeBoer is here as opposed to Nick Saban. But do you think that this is still the same thing? Is it being at Alabama still the same thing?
Yeah, because I mean,
well, let me preface this real quick. And again, we've talked about how much we know Kalen DeBoer. We know Kane Womack. We know all these Nick Sheridan. I mean, I hope I thought they did a great job this year. We talked about the over under last year.
Mm-hmm.
Said 9 games was the.
I called it, and everybody thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Like they gave me shit for that.
I know. That's why I remember you said 8-4 would be a good season, and
Yeah.
everybody jumped on your ass.
Hey man, you know, I'm a realist. Did we have the guys to be a 10-win team?
Yeah.
Absolutely, but you're talking about a complete system change, a complete culture change.
That's what people don't understand. You don't just plug it. It's not like basketball, or you just right. I mean, look, even basketball, you know, you can't just plug guys in that are good shooters and just win.
I mean, it just don't happen that way, man. Like, you've been realistic about it.
Put in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Modelo time.
Yeah. 32 ounces.
What a champ.
No, but you don't just, it's not a plug and play. Football's completely different.
Right.
So many moving parts.
Absolutely.
But I know where Mick's getting, you know, there was, who was it? Was it Rock? Who was it that?
Yeah, it was Rock Montgomery.
Yeah. He said that this year, you know, they've tightened down on just on accountability. Now you can't be late for workouts.
Why was?
That's exactly what I said.
You can't
this is my camera, right?
Yeah.
The fuck are we talking about here?
That's exactly what I said.
Now you can't be late for workouts. Why was being late ever a fucking thing? Like, what happened to if you're 5 minutes early, you feel like you're late? Like, what are we doing here?
And he said, what he said, if they're late, they got to do 15 up downs. I was like, what? That's not even.
I fucking injured people work harder than that.
10%. That's not even 10% of the warm up.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, he said you're not allowed to wear your jewelry in there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anybody wearing jewelry.
Just like so many
I don't know if
people
that was
with
thing,
Band-Aids on their ears.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like, I do remember that.
Yeah, because they don't want that shit to be seen. They knew better. Now we're talking about not being late for meetings anymore. Like shit was a choice.
But I remember, I mean, I was telling him about that time. You remember when Alec Morris had his shoes untied?
Oh my God. Mind you, he's like the 4th string quarterback at this point. Just our signal caller guy. And Saban just rips his ass because his shoes aren't tied. Gets 0 reps. And Saban just decides to rip his ass because his shoes weren't tied. Like, that's the type of shit we had to deal with. Like, it was that type of standard and structure. And now we're talking about guys can't be late for meetings anymore.
Yeah. Did you look at your shoes a lot more after that?
Oh, that was never a problem with me. You know, because I feared physical consequences. Because I was already like a 5 a.m. cardio guy anyway. If they did anything past that, I would have fucking died. Because I'm already 5 a.m. cardio, going straight into a 6 a.m. run, going straight into a lift after that. It's just like, I didn't have room for error, man.
I mean, I felt so bad for y'all running. I mean, the way we had to run, and I know y'all had, I think y'all had, 18 seconds to get? No.
16.
16 seconds. It went by group. So it was like Biggs, big skill.
Yeah.
And Biggs had 16 seconds. Mid skill had 14 seconds, and then skill had like 12 to get
right
110s, you know. And I mean, I remember watching y'all run. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it just looked painful when you got to 14, 15. You're talking about 330-pound guys.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be known. I got rods in both my legs now, by the way. Like I literally ran through stress fractures. Like, I remember Jeff Allen them looking at my x-rays and they're just wondering how the fuck I didn't break my legs by now.
It's like broken glass.
It was horrible. It was horrible. It's just like, it got so bad, like I couldn't walk. I just dropped after practice.
I'll just never forget. I mean, I will never forget Josh Casher. them loading his ass up in that 3-wheeled Mitsubishi, whatever the hell, single cab, 3-wheel drive, this 3-wheel vehicle with a bed on it, metal bed. And it's just like you see a bunch of trainers, a bunch of GA trainers run out there, and they're like trying to. It looks like those guys trying to pull off a soccer player on a stretcher who's not really hurt.
Yeah,
they pick him up and they
he got that funny music playing behind it. But then
Benny Hill.
It's a 300-pound body, limpless body, or just limp body.
And on top of that, they threw his ass in the ice tub like a fresh catch.
It's like, they're like, hey, well, all right. Is he? They're like, is he conscious? I don't know. Let's see if he drowns.
In the ice tub like a fresh tuna.
Said like a fresh cat. when you get a red snapper. You got the
You sound like a fresh cat. I was like,
catch.
You're just trying to keep
it's like the perfect storm for a tuna on ice.
Like, you ever watch Wicked Tuna, man? You ever see that show? They just throw these big ass tunas on mounds of ice. That's what they did to him, right? Like, yeah, collapsed, was just like overheated. They took him to this big ass tub of ice water, just dumped his ass. It's just like, and I know this because it happened to me as well. I've been there.
What did it feel like?
I mean, you don't really feel anything because you're overheated. And so when they dump you in the tub, you're numb at that point because you're so hot. It's like numbing out the cold, and then your body slowly adjusts. And you just get cold as hell by the end of it. Yeah. But I mean, at first you really don't feel it. You don't.
Back out on the field.
Yeah.
No. Make sure your shoes are tied. I don't mind that attention to detail. I mean, details are what make you different than everybody else. Like if you don't have detail in your work, then you're going to be just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I found like one of the scouting report books we had from 2015. Like, I got my game plan book from the SEC championship game against Florida.
Oh, I got them all.
But like, I just found those two the other day, and like, just the amount of shit that's in those books, dog.
No, yeah.
It just like you gotta be a different type of cat to process that at that age. It's just like it's different. It's different. Like, people talk about the talent, the physical gifts, and all that, but like, from a mental standpoint, that was a lot of shit.
No, yeah.
It's just like, we talking percentages.
Yeah.
And like, Crystal Ball was really good at it. Like, dog, we had percentages on TEs, ETs, the fucking delayed blitzes. Like, we had percentages on all that shit. And like, looking back on it now, like, that shit's insane how much info we got every week for every team. Just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it got kind of hard to keep all that organized in the old brain. I mean, at some point you kind of just got to go out there and play and kind of know what you're looking for. And
yeah, it get to a point that's just muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's not like when restart practice 80,000 times.
Yeah.
Because we just couldn't have no good days on offense.
Yeah. I've heard this before.
If offense had a good day, it was a shitty practice. That's all I'm saying.
We scored in 2 minutes. It was like we're restart.
Yeah, because mind you, we
that's what he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand
Yeah.
when I tell these stories. I mean, I think you kind of do, but you weren't out there, so it's kind of hard to understand. Like, as long as the defense did well, I mean, 2 minutes is almost like, all right, let's just get a 3 and out so we can, I mean.
And Lane just
Coach Saban doesn't run us an extra 10 sprints.
Lane just absolutely love fucking with Saban in 2 minutes. I don't understand why.
Oh, or team run.
Yeah.
Or team run.
We did a play action in team run one day. That really set the tone.
Yeah, you're like, Lane's putting the play in, you're like,
looking at Jake like, are you sure? You sure that's the call?
Are you gonna take this ass ripping? because it's not going to be me. Hey, it was the guy over there.
Well, I'd love on Thursdays when we
Team
go.
run, you're supposed to run all run plays.
Yeah.
I'm aware of this.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, you go 2 minutes, and you know they got a script they're supposed to be sticking to. And
Oh,
Lane comes out, first play is 2 minutes. All right, guys, Jack Y Seattle. Jack Y Seattle. And we just hit the fucking scene. First play 2 minutes, and Saban just runs over that piss, just fucking ripping Lane, and now we got to restart 2 minutes. Then it's just like, we talk about how good that defense was. Yeah, we took the brunt of that. We're the reason. They weren't allowed to have bad days at practice. Like, literally was not allowed to have bad days. It was insane.
It's like Kim Jong-un shooting a 36 or an 18 his first time playing golf.
They were cheating.
Coach Saban's like, you better run this first play of team run.
It's just bad.
So what do you guys think of Coach DeBoer? What do you think about him, Shank? Your thoughts on the first season of Coach DeBoer? Have you met him yet? Have they recruited anybody I
think his sideline attire sucks.
Yeah,
I just want that to be known.
Let me get a Miller Lite while you're.
I will. Shank, go ahead and lay it out for us. I got it.
Yeah, I don't like
extension cord hanging.
I don't like his sideline attire, but that has nothing to do with his job ability. I've been kind of on the fence about that. I can't really tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, like, come on, man.
Professionalism.
I'm not even saying that.
What's Shank wearing on the sideline?
Not that. Not that.
You don't have the T-shirt on,
man. Could you imagine the ass ripping I get if my black ass was the head coach of Alabama and I was on the sideline in a damn dry fit hoodie?
You're saying wear a polo at least.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on. This is Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, we heavy on tradition.
Is he the first one that's ever done that?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
I think so.
I don't remember anybody else wearing. I know that Mike DeBose used to sweat up them underarms and them polos, but you guys probably don't remember.
And then you got Kane Womack with just like exclusive Bama gear on the sideline.
You
like everybody's all crimsoned out, and here he is, all black with just like a crimson A.
Smoke Alabama.
Yeah, like it's 007 ass get up. It's just smooth as hell out there. Like, come on, man, your coordinators can't be out dressing you on the sideline.
No, Kane's all about the long sleeves.
Oh, absolutely, and the vest.
I played golf with him. I guess this was about 3 years ago. We played golf, and he was wearing long sleeves out on the freaking golf course. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He goes, that's all I wear.
Oh, yeah. Kane stays dressing, man.
He got some swagger.
He does.
He's got some swagger.
I need him to teach the boy thing too. It's just like, it just looks like a casual day at the office from him, man. It's like, come on, man.
Man, he turned the corner there in the second half of the season, though. I thought he did a hell of a job after week 6.
I'm talking about with his dress.
No. I mean, just the defense looked great.
Oh, you mean Kane? I thought you meant.
Oh yeah, Kane. Which I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I had my doubts about the Swarm defense. I didn't know how to translate to the SEC.
Yeah,
but you can tell after the guys started to understand the system and know where to be. Like, it just looked totally different on that back half of the season.
Yeah.
And it was like defense was never the issue. We just couldn't get anything going offensively, which sucked. Because the offensive side of things sucked so bad because I thought Jalen was going to win a Heisman this year.
Man, I thought he was going to have a lot better year than he had.
Absolutely.
The weird thing about it for me was, I mean, last year he progressed so much.
Yeah.
I mean, got so much better, and you know he has it in him.
Yeah,
but to me, unless there's so many outlying factors playing quarterback from, I mean, the offense, the relationship with the coaches,
Yeah.
trying to manage leadership on the team, just,
New
you know,
OC.
being that guy at the helm. There's so many things that eat at you, to me, as a quarterback. I don't think he had all that under wraps or under control last year. I think there was just a lot of factors that played into him not having the season that he should have had. I mean, and look, I'm not around, I don't know, but that's just an outsider.
You've been through that spot.
That's just an outsider.
A lot of outside. I'm sure when you're the quarterback at Alabama, I can name every one of you guys since I've been to Alabama, from Freddie Kitchens and really Jay Barker all the way back.
Yeah.
That means that's almost like the state of Alabama. I mean, it's almost like being the president in a weird way, just because everybody remembers you, every one of you guys.
Yeah.
You're a super celebrity. You're probably more famous than the governor.
Yeah.
Literally.
It just sucked, man, because I think he got put in some less than advantageous situations this season. And it was just like he wasn't set up to be the best version of himself sometimes.
Well, you know, last year, I know when we had this podcast last year, I was like, man, this guy's grown so much. Yeah. I mean, he was so much better. At the end of the year, he was so damn good. And then it was like, he had some really good games at the beginning of the year, some spotty moments. But we're sitting here talking. I'm like, you know, I mean, brand new scheme, brand new offense, totally different verbiage. You know, when Coach Saban was there, he got a new OC, then everything stayed the same. It was just, I mean, the OC had to figure out what we were doing. Yeah, how to make his own tweaks within the system.
Yeah.
But man, when you got to learn an entirely new language, it's tough to get on the same page with everybody, and especially the way that new coaches teach it.
Yeah,
I knew that was going to be a hurdle, but he just, you know, I mean, he didn't get better as the season went on. It was almost like he had a little bit of a regression, and I'm not saying that's his fault. I'm not saying it's a coaching issue either.
Play calling wasn't the best.
I think it was. Well, I just think it was just a first year obstacle. I mean, I don't know how else to state that. I mean, I think he just had a lot going on and couldn't keep it all under control, whether it be on the field, off the field, you know, the leadership responsibility, and NIL now. I mean, when I was playing, I got to go to the complex, to class, back to the complex, practice, you know, do whatever, go back home, sleep, just recycle that day.
Right.
Now you're sponsorships, interviews, all kinds of shit after practice. You're balancing. I mean, these are 18 to 22-year-olds balancing all this stuff, and you can't just focus on, okay, I got to do this, and that's it. I mean, we had school and we had football, and that was it. That's all that mattered.
Yeah,
and really, it was football and school.
Yeah.
And I respected and appreciated the school part, but I mean, if you didn't show up on Saturday, everybody in Alabama hated you, the next week. So
I've seen that before.
There was a lot more pressure on the football than there was school.
Yeah.
How do you guys handicap this year's quarterback race? Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell.
Man, part of me wants to say give Ty a chance, but another part of me feels like if Ty hasn't been the guy so far, what makes him the guy now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's anybody's. I mean, I think it's you. Ty's taking all the ones reps, obviously.
Yeah.
If I had to lay a bet out there, I'd say it's Ty minus 175. Keelan Russell probably plus 125.
And that's without even a practice, right?
And I'm not putting anybody else's name in the hat.
And that's why you need A-Day.
Max probably plus 225, 250.
Yeah.
And that's why you need your spring game, man. We get a chance to see these guys play.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. You know, I mean, they'll keep it vanilla, but we get to see something.
What was it like when you were going through his quarterback battle?
It was tough. It was tough because you're in a situation where like you know who you want the guy to be. You know, it's clear to you who gives you the best chance to win. But at the same time, you also gotta get the other guy a chance to basically lose the job because he's been there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was clear who gave us the better chance to win games. Man, I mean, it's just tough playing through that because it gets frustrating because it's a rhythm thing. You know what I'm saying? Just
you talk about was my. You remember that Ole Miss week of practice?
and that's my thing.
That was the worst week of practice I've ever seen in Alabama.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the only game we lost that year.
Yeah,
only game we lost that year. I mean, so,
probably got what 70% of the reps we should have gotten, and
yeah,
it was a nightmare.
It's tough, man, because like it affects the whole team. It affects the whole team. It's a different rhythm every time you got a new quarterback at the helm, and it's not like their strong suits were the same. So play calling was a little different, and so yeah, man. Wasn't really a fan of the quarterback battle situation.
Yeah, it's tough. When did you realize Jake had won that?
All right, I don't even want to be here for this conversation.
No, look, Mr. Shank, you just forget about this.
I don't even want to be here for this.
This is part of the podcast.
I mean,
I hate this.
That means
it's
we
the
need
Ole Miss game.
This is the deep dive we need to do, Shank.
It's the Ole Miss game because
take a rectal exam.
Ole Miss game because, bro, we were so close. And it was just like every second he was in the game, he gave us a chance to win.
Right.
Until the very end. And so it's just like from there, it's like, all right, like let's cut the shit. like everybody sees it now. And he just kind of fit the mold of that team because he was tough as shit.
Yeah.
Like I told you, we were just mogging people. There wasn't nothing like pretty about us. Like we were big as hell up front,
ugly as shit.
Bully
people.
Just
bully people. That was it.
Like wasn't nothing pretty about it.
It was literally like no matter who's got the ball, it's like you don't want to tackle whoever has the ball.
Absolutely, and that's just
and you don't want to get blocked by anybody who's supposed to block you.
Right.
Yeah, and so he fit the mold of that team, man. And, you know, he kind of that shit fired us up because he was tough as shit.
Yeah,
I felt like that. Just that team was just when I was going to Alabama, I was like, all right. And I look back on that team, I was like, that's what Alabama football is all about.
Yeah. I remember being there.
I don't know if people see that the same way, but I just felt like that team was just like when you grew up here, you're like Alabama's just may not be the best, most talented team, which I mean, I think we were, but the mindset is just you're going to know you played Alabama by the time the game's over.
Right.
Like win or lose, you're going to be like, I never want to play that team again.
Yeah.
Did you want to make their ass quit?
Absolutely.
That was the goal.
Absolutely.
So what advice would you give these young guys trying to win this job?
I mean, the problem with quarterback battles, I think sometimes, and me included, up until my third year at Florida State, you think too much about, I got to make this play right so that I move forward on the depth chart. Like you can't think about the depth chart. You got to just think about the next play and do the best you can do. And you got no control over whether you're the starter or not. You just got to be the best each play. And you got to realize you're all on the same team too. I mean, pull for the next guy. It's kind of like, I mean, look, Blake was a starter in 2014, and I freaking love Blake. Blake is, I got to know him really well, and I think he is about as good a person as you could meet.
Yeah.
And he deserved the job, and he did a great job. I mean, one thing about Coach Saban, or just quarterback battles at Alabama, I think he leaves it up until he leaves it. He doesn't make a decision until it's absolutely obvious. Everybody on the team knows. Everybody in the fan base knows. There's just no question by the end of the battle. No matter how long it takes, everybody knows.
And that goes back to what he says: "Make me play you." Right?
Yeah.
He stuck to that because, I mean, I remember my position battle, dog. Like that shit sucks. Splitting reps.
Oh yeah, drive you crazy because
like splitting reps at guard, like zero rhythm, zero. And it's just like you can't chain plays together, and then you get in and get your feet wet for a series, and that series could be a 3 and out. Well, fuck, but that was your series, and so you're done. You know what I'm saying?
Back on the sideline.
Back on the sideline.
Yeah,
this sucks. But they stuck true to that. Put the best 11 on the field at all times. Because you always seen walk-on guys find their way in there. Guys like Nice Wonder, Kelly.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you always see those kind of guys find their way just because they bust their ass at practice.
Yeah.
Work harder than everybody. And it shows up on tape. And so I give them that.
Oh, Nice, man. Nice was
animal.
He really was,
animal.
Man. He was like, I remember after practice one day, we're all cutting our tape off, heading back to the locker room, and kind of one of those similar deals. You're just sitting on the bench outside talking, and we were talking about what we'd be doing for 20 years, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And we're all just bullshitting, and Nice Wonder goes, 20 years from now, I wish I was still cutting the tape off my cleats right here. He's like, I love this place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he was dead serious too. He's like, I love this place. I love everything about it.
Where else can you eat steak?
And we all did. But it was like when he said that, I'll never forget. Him just talking about how much he loved. And you talking about, I don't know if I could have walked on. I mean, just the way that
I absolutely could.
The way you gotta humble yourself and prove yourself as a walk-on. I mean, if I was hiring people and you're a walk-on that earned a scholarship, you're first on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you know what you got to go through.
Oh man, you got to be a guy with a great attitude, humble, and work your ass off.
They were getting put through some shit. Granted, it was the same shit everybody else was doing, but like I said, at some point, you got to realize you were in a psychosis moment, dog, and you just were not in your right mind.
Some of those guys would. I mean, you'd be on scout team, and I remember some bad stories. Like if you're a scout team running back, they give you the ball, and Reuben Foster's coming to just smoke you, and you got no help.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like strapping a ribeye to your back and running through a freaking lion exhibit.
Hey, we had a couple of those dudes, when I was in college, on the 99 team, the walk-on guys, and they would take their shirts off, and I would always come raw meat. It was like, dude, I'm talking about like you talk bruises like from neck all the way down, like tackling dummies.
Yeah.
But I respect those guys, man. They got
a
SEC championship ring, and you know what? Like they stuck through it. Like I'm not. It's not a diss or anything. I'm just saying, like you see that. And like,
like I just said, those would be the first guys I hire.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those guys are. I mean, that's Alabama. Michael Nicewater is freaking Alabama, dude. That's
right.
That's the most Alabama guy I've ever met.
Like we didn't have normal walk-ons, dog. Like those guys could have went other places and played.
Yeah.
And we had a few that did. Like my boy Ty Eastwood, he ended up going to Louisiana Monroe full scholarship.
Yeah.
Like from walking on at Alabama. It's just like those guys were different, man. And I couldn't imagine putting myself through that shit every day and like not knowing if my investment gonna get a return or not outside of just being part of the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those are some selfless guys, great people.
Shank, when you guys won the national championship, a lot of people on the channel they love Jake because just the reaction that he had after he won.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm telling you, I read the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And
this guy's famous for something.
You talking about my big ass snow? What an interview we did afterwards.
Oh, the snow angel. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're all celebrating. I look out there and there's this big old ass black dude just no angel in the confetti.
How could I not, man? How could I not? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that was like a triumphant moment for me, though. Triumphant moment. You know, hey, I bust my ass to get that right guard spot. And we had a tremendous year and capped it off with a natty. It just felt right. It just felt right.
Yeah.
You know, snow angel.
I mean, watch a dude that's 6'6", 350 just making a snow angel and gold confetti.
Yeah. So you guys are both famous for your post games.
Oh,
I forgot about that, Shank. I do.
Hey man, you got to realize a national championship at Alabama, being from Mobile, means a lot.
Hell yeah, it does. I mean,
different.
You're immortal.
That was different. Like that moment was so surreal. I really didn't know what to do with myself in that moment.
Because you don't even. I mean, you sit there. I mean, it's something you dreamed of. That was my biggest football goal, was to win a national championship.
It's insane.
At Alabama as a starting quarterback. I mean, I can't even imagine.
And for me, I just couldn't believe I was there, dog. Because I didn't grow up a football kid. I was a band kid. And that just so happened, like, the right people found me and got me into it and made me stick to it. And, like, you end up at Alabama winning a national championship. Like, that was a surreal-ass moment. Like, I appreciate – it's like one of those things, like, I appreciate that every year that passes after we play, like, I appreciate it more. It was just like, I got to experience that not once, but twice.
What do you do with the rings? Do you wear those around?
No, I got them. Like, I wear them on special occasions and stuff. Like, I wore them to Jake's wedding when I went. I wore a couple of them. I wear them to daddy-daughter dances just to let
everybody know.
Just let all the boys know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crack you with this thing.
He doesn't even wear his.
Right.
I keep them locked up, man.
Yeah, I wear them from time to time. Mine's are locked up most of the time too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is like really special.
You see Pawn Stars?
No.
Did you see the Pawn Stars episode? Who was it that sold the rings?
It was like one of the 2020 backup running backs, Robinson,
sold his rings
went
for
to
$60,000.
That went to that transferred to Texas. He sold his rings. Yeah, no, it was it was $60,000. Yeah, the set.
The set
on the show. I mean, I don't know
where did he sell them at
Pawn Stars. Yeah.
All right, Shank.
Where are they located? Asking for a friend. Okay, asking for a friend.
That's some pretty good cash right there,
especially for rings that are worth like what,
$500?
Yeah, material wise.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter
because that was back.
$100,000 right now.
I wonder what.
$100,000 right now. Oh, absolutely. All blue notes. The house will be built within 6 months. It's just like.
No, I mean.
Coker's got the ones from Florida State too. That'd be.
I do have those.
Nobody wants that bullshit.
Yeah, I know, but maybe Pawn Stars.
Yeah, nobody cares about it.
You know, me and you could have followed the same path. You could have some Florida State rings, some Alabama rings.
I don't want that shit.
Yeah, after what you did to him.
2 natties, 4 SECs.
Yeah.
You know.
And you chased him out of there with that big lady.
Let that big girl. That big girl. I was scared. I was innocent, man.
Yeah.
A young, innocent guy, man.
I was just doing you a favor, dude.
What kind of favor is that? You know?
You're just in there playing darts. And that feeling you get when somebody's watching you. You know, that hot feeling?
She liked him for his looks because he couldn't throw darts worth of shit. I can tell you that.
See, now I know he was. I'm a damn good dart player, okay? Because I lived with my coach in high school, and he was still pretty young at the time. That's all he fucking did was throw darts, and he was really good at it. And so I got really good at it, and I got good at cornhole too. And so I ain't gonna let him shit on my dart throwing abilities, okay? Because he let that big girl attack me. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
They're like, we got to get Coker away from the recruit.
I was terrible. It's kind of like anytime they gave me a recruit, and I think Shank, I've told you this before, but it was like, I mean, look, you know, whether it's you or somebody else, we're still going to win national championships. I mean, you know, so you join us or you can just get beat by us. That's it. That's it.
Oh my goodness! You said that at Alabama, or you said that at Florida State?
I said that at Alabama.
Okay.
Florida State.
We need your help.
Yeah.
A little bit.
We hadn't won one until my last year at Florida State.
Right.
So.
Alabama was easy, man. Because it really was like.
I mean, that's exactly what it was.
Man, it's just like, all right, man. Like, let's cut the shit. We're all highly ranked recruits here. Like, nobody cares. You either come here or you don't. And if you don't, we're just gonna whoop your ass. Didn't that happen? Who was that? Devin White. Didn't that happen to him, the linebacker at LSU?
I don't know.
I do remember him though.
I'm pretty sure that was him. Because he got horses. He rides horses.
It was Devin White.
It was Devin White. He was talking crazy about going to LSU and how they beat us all the time. We whooped his ass every year he was at LSU. And so,
did you guys get up for that game because they hated Saban so much, or did that even matter?
Up for LSU because it's LSU,
yeah, right?
And it's just like that. This is always going to be a good game against LSU. Like, I think everybody respects their history and their legacy and who they are as a college team.
I don't know if there's any game you really get up for outside of just it being a big game.
Every SEC game feels like a big game, really.
Yeah, I mean, well,
like the times we play Arkansas, Mississippi State, like teams like that, and just absolutely sore as shit Sunday.
Yeah, that's what he said that before.
Brutal, because like we may beat their ass, like we may run the score up, but like you feel every rep from that game. Like
that's exactly. I've told him that. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
You feel every.
That's what people don't understand about this. He said, I mean, the physicality is just so much different.
Yeah, it's different.
The mentality, just freaking. I mean, it's just ruthless.
Because it's all over the field. It ain't just one guy.
Oh yeah,
like
it's just every single play is played with mean intentions.
Yeah.
Just bad intentions.
And mind you, this was pre-targeting era.
That's what I sit here.
We haven't never talked about this, but you're right. You know, pre-targeting era.
This is pre-targeting era.
There was. I feel like there was targeting, but it wasn't. It wasn't like. I mean, they just weren't as. It wasn't as crazy. Like a guy running the ball. Nowadays, if a guy tries to make a tackle on a guy running the ball and he lowers his head, it's targeting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
But it's a much more brutal sport back then.
For sure.
You know, like the blind side
would be in jail.
Yeah.
With some of the hits that he
back
had
then.
Back then.
Yeah. They'd press charges today.
Like he would absolutely. Like
and Ruben be running back to the huddle, carrying, holding one arm.
One arm.
I mean,
don't even care.
Just one arm out of socket.
Different.
Just so excited.
Different type of animal, man.
What's he doing now?
I think he's still working out, isn't he?
Yeah. He's still doing.
He's still doing, because I saw he was kind of like floating around the NFL last year, right?
I believe
maybe like practice
so. He played last. He was playing in the XFL or whatever league.
Oh yeah,
right. USFL or whatever. It's.
Yeah. I think he's still doing that. I don't think he's done.
He's still built like a freaking brick shit house.
I mean, he's been built like that since high school. Never changed.
That's just genetic. Some of these guys, man,
it's not fair.
I mean, I remember when I was at Florida State. I mean, I could eat as healthy as I wanted to.
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Nigel Bradham that just was. You remember Nigel Bradham?
I remember.
Played linebacker.
Man. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, just 6'3". I mean, played for the Eagles for a long time, but I mean, just he could eat whatever he wanted. Didn't matter.
Yeah,
dude was just.
I remember the first time I seen Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
freak.
That guy was delivering. He's working for Coke.
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
Yeah,
delivering
green beverage, I think. Yeah.
And just picked up boxing and I mean, just a specimen.
Right there. I love him.
Yeah.
His autograph pictures in my son's room.
I wouldn't want to get punched by that.
No.
Hell no.
No, I think he had some issues where he was breaking his hand because he was punching people so hard. But
you can only last so long in boxing.
Boxing's kind of that.
You got to hope you make your money. And
love to have him on this podcast. I've interviewed him a few times. My dad was.
I've never met him. I've seen him.
Great guy
around Tuscaloosa, but I've never met him.
No, he's a great interview too.
I mean, that's a
goals for us. Goals.
That guy has. I mean, you think about it, guy's delivering beer, and then he's a household name. A year, 2 years later,
like Olympic medalist.
Yeah.
Think if he was boxing like Floyd Mayweather, like his dad's teaching him from the time he's 5 years old.
I don't know. Would he be the same? Because I mean, his whole style is he's a brawler. That's kind of what made him like who he is, though. Like,
well, he probably had to be a brawler.
Yeah.
I mean, because he just so much physical talent, learning to box so quick.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong on this story, I mean, I thought he just picked it up later in life.
No, he was a basketball player.
Yeah.
At the community college.
So I always say, man, basketball players. Well, depending on the basketball player. I've seen a lot of skinny basketball players.
Yeah.
But those dudes are the most athletic. I'd rather fight a guy that can't move real well versus a guy that plays basketball long. It's got kind of like a guy that can hit a golf ball a long way, hit a baseball, whatever.
Yeah.
You got that explosiveness.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for that dude.
When's the last time you got into a fight, Jake?
I won't fight my older brother because of that. My older brother's like that. My older brother's like 6'4", long, skinny basketball guy. I won't fight him. They like fucking swings his arm is like a whip.
Hey man.
Oh my God.
Stay on the outside.
Yeah.
Stay on the outside. pick your spots.
It's different.
Just
I was like that too. Clinton Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Skinny, long arms.
Oh yeah.
Well,
there's physical characteristics, but you can never tell about that guy who's real quiet and crazy.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
My older brother's 5'10", 190, but he's the craziest one in our family.
Yeah.
In terms of just can't lose. He flies A-10s. Not gonna.
What's the saying?
Just hope he's on my side. He's always gonna be on my side. But
what's the saying? Don't.
That's
fuck
the kind of
crazy.
guy. Yeah,
something like that.
Because you got to kill him. You'd have to kill him. Like you can't. There's nothing else you can do.
I mean, the lore of that family is crazy.
Yeah,
he just told us
these Cokers.
Jacob Coker.
He's the clean cut one of the
national championship winning quarterback for the University of Alabama. Yeah, my brother flies A-10s. The fuck? How does it just keeps getting better? Like the story, the lore just keeps getting better.
Yeah, doesn't one of them like hunt from a plane or something?
No. My younger brother, he's a nuclear missileer out in Wyoming.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is, yeah.
That's insane.
I tried to get him to go to Vegas. His one brother's in Vegas.
That's Patrick. Patrick, my older brother.
I tried to get him to go to Vegas. I had a ticket to Dead and Company and the Sphere. He wouldn't take it.
I need to go. I
feel like Shank would go. I feel like you would take the ticket.
I'll tell you what. If Shank and Ryan go, I'll go.
Huh?
Okay.
Shank and Ryan go, I'll go.
I go to Vegas
because I know you got a lot of shit to leave behind.
He would have a great time though. I don't know.
Man, I would have a great time.
I don't know what this.
No, I would have a great time.
My wife loves Vegas.
His wife loves Vegas.
I know you.
And
we forgot about that.
Yeah.
Loves it. And you got a brother out.
But how are you going to go out there? You got two little girls. You got a babysitter lined up.
I have great in-laws.
Hear that?
Oh, I do too.
Okay. My mother and father-in-law.
I do too. But 5 and 1's tough. 5 and 1 is a tough age to leave.
Yeah, we're 8 and 3. Or 8.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the wheelhouse of hey, here's dinner, go to bed.
The 8-year-old is basically self-sufficient at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
I answer to her when I leave the house.
Yeah, Bedtime right now is a struggle at my house. Let me tell you, a lot of moving parts at my house right now.
I believe it. Kids, man, they're different. They're different.
Yeah. My parents and in-laws could, I mean, as good as you can get, but the two daughters are a handful right now.
Yeah.
I walk in, it's funny. I'm walking in the house yesterday and I'm, great mood. I'm like, no matter how long you go through this, when you walk through the house, when you walk into the house, you're expecting, wife, two daughters to, as soon as you walk in, oh, daddy, hug, No, hell no. I got one. My wife's like on the verge of tears. My oldest is beating the shit out of my youngest. It's like,
yeah, right.
It's like,
That's hilarious.
It's just one big nightmare. And I'm like, I'm just gonna cook dinner and try to help as much as I can.
I didn't work all day.
Just gonna try. I'm just gonna do my best.
I know how that goes. That's how it was.
So leaving right now is just like, you talk about a nightmare. It's just not in the cards right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's
we have to plan in advance. Nothing spontaneous happens.
No, yeah.
Everything's in advance. Like we're taking a cruise during the summer. We'll be married for 5 years in June.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a cruise for that.
We just had our sixth anniversary. Hard to believe that.
Congrats.
Yep.
Time flies, boys.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Been married long enough to start forgetting when your anniversary is.
There you go. Let's talk some football here.
Let's do it.
Where are we now, guys?
Let's do it.
So when you look at where the program is right now, is there any concern that there was a slippage, especially the Oklahoma game and the Michigan game? You can be honest.
Running backs room.
Okay.
Usage of the running backs. It's just that killed me this year.
Yeah, like Mike Johnson, I did a show and he didn't like the way that those guys use blocks.
Yeah, no.
He's got very frustrated, especially with the guy that transferred to Michigan.
Well, I mean, it goes back to rhythm. It's not like they were getting many carries.
That's true too.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
And even with the limited number of carries, you look at their numbers, they both had decent years.
Mm-hmm.
Averaging 3 and 4, 4 and 5 yards a carry. Like, who wouldn't take that?
Yeah. Jam kind of started to pull away at the end, though.
Yeah, he did.
Had a great
I just think we should have utilized running backs better. And in return, that would have took some pressure off of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to force him to do as much. So, like, man, we got really good running backs. And if an offensive line is struggling, what do? Run the ball.
Yeah.
You get a rhythm in the run game. Once you get the run game going, oh, look at that. Pass game opens up. We got the speed on the outside. We got a guy with a big arm. We should have utilized the run game better. Man, that's sad to see because Alabama traditionally is a run-first team. It didn't feel that way this year.
Yeah. Right. Different style, though, man.
Yeah.
Grubb didn't threw the ball a lot in the NFL.
Yeah. And I mean, we didn't really chain plays together well last year.
To me, on that, it's just, again, it's you're trying to find an identity with a team you haven't recruited.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in a comfort zone calling plays with a bunch of guys that you've been around for 3 months, 4 months. I mean, the first game, DeBoer had been hired 3-4 months before the first game. I mean, you don't even know any of these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're like in real time. Now, the running backs, I mean, it's a lot like playing quarterback to me. I mean, you're not comfortable with the scheme. You're running just a few times a game, and when you do run, you don't. It's the same thing as playing any other position. You got to have some tempo and some familiarity with running the ball in that game, and knowing how to attack. That defense. It's just a lot of discomfort and just I don't know, a lack of feel for the game for the running backs. I mean,
but at the same time, I feel like there were instances where we could have stuck with the run game a little better.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to really critique the running backs when I feel like they weren't given a fair shake. Because like you say, you know it's a rhythm deal.
Oh yeah.
Man, like look at Derrick Henry. He has to have the ball to get into a rhythm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying Jam Miller and those guys are Derrick Henry, but they're like it really lost me in the last game where we turned the ball over, two, 3 times in a row. And instead of coming out and trying to stick to the run game and just get something simple going, some type of something going for us, we go out first play after turning it over 3 times in a row. That led to points for the other team. We go out and throw the ball again. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, I get it. You're trying to find yourself. But at some point, historically,
yeah,
let's talk situational football here. like, come on, man.
Yeah.
At best, run the ball 3 times in a row. If nothing comes of it, punt the ball, flip the field. We live to fight another day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's one thing if you just throwing the ball nonstop and then you spread everybody out. You got, 10 personnel. You're handing the ball off and everybody's spread out. And the backers aren't playing the run, and you just got an easy run. But to establish a good run game, the backs got to have the ball in their hands, and you got to at some point, have a tight end or 2 in the game and really get physical with them. Yeah. Just to get the momentum going. Yeah. But I'm trying to hold back on the first year. Just watching, I'm trying to hold back.
I was gonna circle back and say that it was the first year.
That's what I'm doing.
It was the first year, and we knew it. We knew we would have our issues.
Yeah,
we knew. So yeah.
All right. Great to have all you guys with us on Elephant in the Room, part of Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com. Right now, sign up for $25 off your annual subscription. Be a part of it. Basketball going full speed right now as we get close to the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament. You got so many things going on, and use that promo code mybookie.ag to double your initial deposit. But we're talking about them on Cover Crimson. It's great to have Shank and Jake Coker in here, Mick Gillispie. Got Elephant in the Room. Normally that's you, but I guess 2 of you guys now, former players. I don't know if I'm considered an elephant in the room because I didn't play at Alabama.
You had your moment though.
I did. I played on the lacrosse team.
Yeah. I almost asked him, was he serious?
Yeah.
You guys don't know Lax?
Yeah.
No.
It's club. It's club. Okay.
Yeah, nightmare in the room.
Man, it really is great to have Shank though back in here. He doing his offensive line work in high school, and all the stuff that you're involved in right now.
Try to get Ryan. Ryan's out of town. I'm sure he's in the Bahamas somewhere.
And we miss you, Rhino. Come on, man. Don't be weird.
Mai Tais and cocktails.
Yeah. We've had this idea where we do like a traveling show with you, Ryan, and us two.
Hey,
it's like Baumhauer's or something.
Don't tip me with a good time.
Wouldn't that be fun?
We need to do that for the A-Day game.
You had me curious with travel show. You sold me with Baumhauer's. Let's get it going.
Wings, football talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be so fun to get and see what people ask you, in the audience and stuff too. So 9-4 season for Alabama last year, and then this year the schedule is going to be really tough. Got to play Florida State. A lot of people have deemed that one the Coker Bowl.
We considering that a tough game?
It could be. I mean,
I'm going to go to that one.
You are?
I gotta go to that
Tallahassee?
One. Is it in Tallahassee?
Oh, yeah.
I might go with you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Then Wisconsin at home, and then
I got to have somebody to back me up because I got a lot of Florida State teammates going.
Yeah.
So I gotta have somebody to.
Yeah, you just watch out for them big girls. You know how you do, man.
Maybe y'all can have a reunion.
Absolutely not. Hey. I don't know if you fear your wife. I fear my wife.
I fear mine too.
That's crazy. We got all this football background.
I spoke before I thought on that.
Like my wife don't play no games, man. Like no games. I remember I got in trouble in Tuscaloosa. Got in trouble that time, and she was pregnant at the time. She drove from Mobile to Tuscaloosa.
Ooh.
Like she don't play. I got my shit together after that. Absolutely.
When you run into like guys, you know, like the Tank Joneses of the world, you know, E.G. Crowell's, the guys that are like kind of recruited for Alabama to go there. What kind of do you ever run into those guys, and what do they ask you about playing at Alabama? Like, and what advice would you get? And if you didn't, what advice would you give them? Man, because we all love Alabama, obviously.
At a place like Bama, my advice that I'd give anybody is that nobody's bigger than the program. You know, because everybody wants to be that guy. Everybody wants to be that one. But when you're playing for people like Bama, you got to realize the mission is always bigger than yourself. Like you're playing for national championships. We're not playing just to be seen. You know, we're not playing just to say we play. We're playing to win it all, and that's like the mission you buy into. That's the mission that makes you a little crazy. And it's just like nobody's bigger than the program, and it's just like it's either all or nothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with him. I mean, you know, you get in this NIL era. I think we almost got to chase guys that will take less just to come to Alabama, because I think you got to build a fabric within the program. Guys that want to be there, you know. I mean, I get it. I mean, guys want to make money now, which I completely understand. I'd be in that group too, but at the same time, when I was leaving Florida State, I had this conversation with somebody else the other day. I mean, when I was leaving Florida State, I mean, there was a lot of people calling, and I was sitting there thinking, you know, I mean, if there was a lot of dollar figures out there, I'd have taken a lot less to go to Alabama than to go to anywhere else. Again, my dream was when you get hurt and you got a lot of time to think and you're by yourself, it is kind of a lonely time, and that was all I thought about was just, all right, what do I want out of this, you know? And winning one in Alabama was something that I always dreamed of. So, I mean, my decision out of high school was more of a future decision, but my decision after that was all based on emotion and where my heart was. So, I mean, you got to have a love for Alabama, or at least a love for football and a willingness to embrace the Alabama culture to play at Alabama, I think.
Agreed.
Let me ask you guys this. The 4 best players in Alabama football history.
Ooh. Damn, you gonna do me like
Who's
that?
on your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, the Mount Rushmore.
Do me like
we
that.
talked about this the other day.
Yeah, because I think you got to have Derek Thomas has to be on there.
See, I don't know. I think
Joe Namath has to be on there.
Joe Namath and Julio got to be on there.
And I put Julio on mine. You know that. I love Julio.
See, that's what makes it tough for me, because I'm not a Alabama like history junkie. Like, I was an LSU fan before I decided to go to Alabama. Right?
Why didn't you go to LSU?
I met Les Miles. We'll leave it at that.
Was he eating that Davidson grass?
Yeah, that's a different kind of cat, man. You know, I feel like, you know, like I like Saban because he is like, what you see is what you get, right? Yeah. And it's just like I didn't have to wonder like what version of him I'd get in any given day. I didn't like Jimbo for that same reason. Because like Jimbo would be like all sweet and cool doing recruiting, and then I watched him at practice. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I saw him kick. I heard a story, Shank. I'm going to tell you this story. I heard a story of this guy. He came from St. Paul's. He would play quarterback there, and he kicked the football out of his hand.
I heard about that. I heard he told him. I heard he told him to take his ass back to Mobile. It's just like
who is this guy?
And you know that shit scares me, man.
Yeah, me too. I don't like that.
And the thing with Sabo, like Saban, he was the same way from the day I met him until the day we left. And like he might have threw some fat jokes at me from time to time, but when shit hit the fan, he went to bat for me, dog. And so like what you see is what you get with him.
Oh yeah,
100%. But Jimbo, that guy was a little chaotic.
Yeah.
I wonder how that kid's doing. He was talking to.
I don't know. Probably fucked up.
I hope he's all right.
Woo.
he's sitting in the basement of some degenerate's house in Fairhope.
This is a basement. This is a shed.
That was that kid's like villain origin story.
Can you imagine? Hey, Shank, can you imagine when you know him? Like, why couldn't I have been there that day?
Right.
Let
Like,
me
when he told us
you.
that story, like I wholeheartedly believed it.
Oh yeah,
Because I seriously remember like sitting up in his office during the whole recruiting process, and you know what I'm saying, he'd be like the coolest dude. He's like, you know, maybe this could happen. Then I watch him at practice, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he's just complete flip. And I'm fearing for my life, like, Mom, please do not send me to this place.
It was different. It was different.
Like with Bama, they told me straight up what it was gonna be. Like we gonna get this work. You gonna get this work from day one. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, cool, let's get it.
I don't know what the right word is, but it was a little more hectic at Florida State. There ain't no doubt about it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I
What
believe
if
it.
something like that would have happened to you, where the guy would have kicked the football in your face,
Man, let me tell you what, it was there was a learning curve there for sure. There ain't no doubt about it.
Amen.
But I don't know if anybody, at that time in 2012, I mean, I don't know if anybody coached like that, you know, and that, I mean, people talk about Coach Saban being tough. Man, I tell you what, I mean, Jimbo was you learned a whole new vocabulary at Florida State.
right?
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
And I look, I Jimbo's a great guy. He is. I mean, you got to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because it's a
Toughness.
barrage. It's a
Toughness.
barrage at first. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you come in as a freshman and you've never been talked to like that, I mean, it you know, it takes all you got in you to just keep your cool and you know, just take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different environment.
So we say in baseball, you got to wear it. Tell me what some of the craziest shit that happened, you know, like when you guys were together at Alabama that you can talk about on here. Like, just like, you know, just the shit that went on behind the scenes where you're like, did I just see that?
Pass.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know if I
Pass.
that's not
pass.
a question I can answer.
And that's coming from me.
How about something mild? How about something mild? A mild
Pass.
Yeah. You never know when you're crossing that line.
Yeah.
Telling those stories.
I've absolutely heard some stuff and seen some stuff that I will not share on record. I refuse to share on record. I'll put it this way, like when you're in a program that won as consistently as we did and worked as hard as we did, some ethical lines may or may not have been crossed at some point. That it wasn't all bad. Like you if you were in the moment, you would have scratched your head and just been like, is this okay? You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'll say.
the Bama standard, though. You guys, what
I'm not saying we did anything crazy.
No, I know
but
what you're saying. But if somebody shows up late with jewelry on to the workout,
Like,
how does that go?
I'll put it this way: like
how does that go?
somebody yawned in one of our meetings, and I feared for my life for that person.
Were his initials DJ?
Yes. 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 It was a different type of standard than just we're not going to show up late for meetings anymore. Okay, it's a different type.
We're getting
of standard.
serious now.
But like
that coach,
like men were willing to fight for their respect.
I was about to say,
men were willing to go to war for their respect on this team. Like, it was different. It was different.
Different times. Different times.
Next question.
Yeah. all right. That championship mentality. So when you watch games now, what do you look for when you're watching? I'm going to tell you what I'm saying here. Okay. So when you guys are playing, I'm sitting next to Mike Johnson. And I don't know what happened, but somebody got sacked or something. And I was like, oh, what, that's missed the block. I thought one of you guys did it. And Mike's like, no, that was the running back. He didn't do that, And I was like, okay, I'm not commenting on any more of the football stuff, because I realized there's a whole nother level of watching football when you watch it with Mike Johnson, because he's just, he knows where everybody's supposed to be on every single play. As casual guy, I'm like, hey, man, somebody on the offensive line probably missed that. No, these two guys went here to block this guy. This guy's supposed to come in here on this spot.
Yeah.
When you're watching football now, what are you watching for?
I'm watching O-line play. That's all I care about.
It's your O-line, like Mike says. He's an O-lineman first.
Yeah, I'm watching O-line play.
It is so funny to watch. Like, when I was in college, the only people I ever roomed with were offensive linemen. And we're watching, you watch games, and I'm watching quarterback and the skill guys, and they're watching.
Did we score or not? Who caught the ball?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're talking about drop steps or whatever the hell they're talking. Like, will you shut the fuck up?
It's a 20-yard catch. It's the first.
But yeah, man. I watch O-line play because. Like, you can look at it and see when, like, the quarterback should have shifted protection or somebody busted in protection.
Right.
O-line play is hard, but it's simple. Because at the end of the day, you either go full slide, half slide, or 5-on-5 protection, right?
Yeah.
There's really not that much variation in protection. And so when you see linemen go half slide, you got half the line slide in one direction and the other half is going man. And you see the slide side bust in protection, or you see an overload blitz on the man side, and you're just like, well, damn, why didn't the quarterback check the protection, or we should have won a different protection there? Like, you see stuff like that. And then you watch the run game, and you're just like, well, why didn't the running back do this? Or that was a bad double team. Or like, damn, we're not getting no movement on the line of scrimmage. Like, it's just bad play going on right now. And it's just like, I don't know. I guess because that was your craft for so long. That's what you focus on, right?
Worst feeling is ramming seeing a pressure to the right, ramming it, and still getting freaking pressure to the right.
Yeah. And you have those situations where the quarterback checks the protection perfect and we just fucking suck at pass. It happens. It happens. The Clemson game haunts me till this day. It haunts me till this day. Like, I forget the guy's name. He got drafted to the Raiders after that. But, like, we slide to the right and we just couldn't pick this D end up.
Man, that dude was
exactly who, we just could not pick him up. Like, we'd half slide to him. We'd go, man, I'd try to help protect. We just could not pick him up. He was having his way inside, outside.
Dude was an animal.
Absolutely. Thank God they just decided not to cover OJ, though.
Yeah.
Well,
they were trying to do so much. They tried to do so much.
They did do a lot of shit. They took a lot of, they gambled a lot. Because there were a couple plays I remember watching that they were sending pressures on the right side. We're going inside zone to the right. And like, they got ETs going with a linebacker coming over the top. And like we're literally passing shit off like it's pass pro. This is a run play.
No,
like we're getting zero movement. We're just sliding bodies.
Half those plays, I'm like, how are they gonna cover this? Like where are they rolling to? Where's the pressure coming from?
Right.
And guys just wouldn't move, and you're like, okay, all right, they fucked this up.
Yeah.
You know, just
throw right over them. So the answer to me is Derrick Henry, Julio, Joe Namath, and Derek Thomas. And it's hard. And that's a hard list.
Nobody would go against Biscuit.
Yeah, I love Biscuit too. I mean,
nobody would go against.
You know, like there's so many good Bama players, man. Like it's hard to come up with 4 dudes that are above everybody else.
And it's really an in-depth conversation to have because you got to think about impact in the era that they were in. Because like, how can you go? Derek over Ingram at the end of the day? Because Ingram was the first Heisman winner at Bama.
That's what I was about to say, man.
Look, I love both of them,
and I'm biased towards Derek.
So, Derek was a machine, though.
I think you got to put Derek.
But Trent Richardson was on the same team as Mark Ingram. Like Derek, everybody got hurt, and it was Derrick Henry, and that was the best thing that happened because then all of a sudden when he started touching the ball 25 to 30 times,
I think he had 50 carries in a game.
Oh yeah,
they were awesome.
And if we're being realistic, we win the Sugar Bowl if we continue to feed Derek.
Yeah. You remember how that thing shifted?
Yeah. But hey, man, I wasn't a coach.
Me neither.
I wasn't a coach.
I was just a.
It's easy to say that now in hindsight, from the comfort of this couch.
27-7.
Yeah,
is that right?
And I mean, it's easy to say that. And Cardale Jones just had the game of his life.
And let's not forget about games.
Ezekiel Elliott.
It's hard. I mean, I forget sometimes that we were up that much.
Yeah. But Ezekiel Elliott, that was his like.
I mean, I remember just thinking during that game, like, what in the hell is going on?
They just kept rolling out. I was there, and they would just throw them deep passes, and they caught them every time.
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
It was tough. But I still say we feed Derek, we win that game because they didn't have an answer for him. He had to be averaging at least 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Because he was bouncing everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I wonder what, like, when you're calling plays, like, why, like when things are working, you just decide that you have to do something else, like to be balanced. But if you're kicking their ass just doing one thing, why get out of that,
Oh, no, man.
Sometimes I think you get caught up in the numbers. Like you get caught up in the rules.
Yeah.
Like the basic rules. If I got numbers, all right, I run this. If they're in this, I got to do this. Or sometimes it's like, well, we're just better.
Yeah, right.
So we're just gonna run this.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to say, man, because you gotta think like they practice so much stuff during the week. And like they have stuff that they in their mind is gonna be successful and they want to see that be successful because they've worked it all week.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's tough. It's not like it's Madden where you can just go turbo and just run the same play.
It's like that 27. When Mechie went down and J-Mo went down.
Like,
I mean, you
can't game.
They start Georgia goes, man. They got. I mean, they got numbers every play, and you're supposed to throw it, but you don't have the guys to do it.
Right.
Those guys hadn't been playing.
Yeah, the guy's trying to catch the ball.
Bill
with his
O'Brien
arms like this. Yeah. He was tweeting about how he didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien. I mean, he caught a lot of flack for that, but it's like. I mean,
and I was a huge Bill O'Brien hater, but in hindsight, like you can't plan for that.
I mean, those guys, and then
I was hated.
And then you've got certain looks against, I mean, you got certain plays versus certain looks, and you're like, I mean, we run that with the ones only, and they're the only ones that know these plays, so we don't. I mean, we can't run this with guys that have never run it before.
That's a fact.
You're back to your base offense, and you're like, I got to beat cover 0 and cover 1 with a bunch of guys that have never played before, but I got to throw the ball because we can't run it.
Yeah, right.
It's like let's talk about that. Like realistically, you're like a third string guy on a team like that. Like realistically, how intently are you preparing for a game?
Shit. Third guy?
like,
third guy, you're thinking about what you're doing on Thursday night.
exactly.
But,
You're
but
trying.
that's the problem. That's the problem. And Saban talked about this.
Yeah.
You have to prepare every day. Like when your chance comes, you're ready for it. And when their chance came, they weren't ready for it. I talked about that on the post-game show on radio after the game. You know, you want to get on a tweet about how you're not getting any playing time. And that's just the way it is. When you play around great players, it's like being around great broadcasters or being at great anything, right? And then you're not ready. You know, watching the Jai Hall try to catch the ball like this in the back of the end zone.
Well, that guy was, I mean,
I know, but it was just so annoying because he had a lot of talent, but instead of him focused, like Saban said, he didn't focus on the opportunity.
I agree.
They would have won the championship if he could have caught the ball. Bryce Young was throwing some.
But let's be honest, catching the ball ain't. I mean,
think about those passes.
Hang on. If you're brought to Alabama, catching the ball, that takes no preparation. That's all talent.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
But did you see it that way too? I mean, I saw Bryce Young was still throwing perfect balls.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw it that way, but also
he's close to being on the Mount Rushmore.
He's
right there.
Yeah, I also saw when
fifth guy,
when JMO went down, and I saw Georgia completely change their defense. I was like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, you knew.
Right.
Well, when they completely changed and we're dropping balls after the second ball dropped, I was like, we're done.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
We don't have depth.
Because like now, not only are you talking about being prepared,
can you imagine Calvin Ridley and then Ardarius go down?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I love the guys behind them, and they were great. But if you hadn't practiced with the ones all year,
and at the end of the
biggest
day,
game of the year, you're done.
You're a third guy for a reason. But
think about some of those guys though, like Smitty was like the fourth wide receiver, and he was still making plays.
That was different. That was a different wide receiver room.
Remember the Mississippi State game? Nobody ever talks about that one, but we were down late. And then
he ran he was hot and he ran the slant.
Hurts threw him the ball and he scored, and that we almost lost that game. Like that was a
I mean, don't get me wrong though. He
was definitely not the 1, 2, 3.
But that's a
3 guy.
Yeah, but that's a day one install type deal. I mean, you're running a slant. You're not in multiple series over and over again where you can be just picked apart because.
And we talking about what ended up being a future Heisman winner. So he's just a little different all around.
And a Super Bowl champion.
And a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. But when he caught the touchdown.
And the first Alabama person.
Hey, but you know who we're talking. This guy
in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's a little.
Guy's gonna break his leg to win an argument, but we know where he's coming from.
I live for hypothetical.
I knew he was coming. He was coming at me. He was coming at me.
Oh yeah.
Shank in here with me today.
I love the hypotheticals, man. I love it.
We got under his skin a little bit, didn't we, Shank?
No, but Robert Foster, he got hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt in 2015, and it took Calvin and I probably 5 games until we were on the same page.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you can't be fluid until you played live round. You've had live rounds. I mean, you're going at it and everything's live for a period of time at least.
Right.
Like I said this before, that Tennessee game when you call the hang loose on the backside of a sprint out. I mean, if that's his first time out there, I'm like, fuck. We're just gonna roll the dice and see what happens here.
Yeah, right,
Run the play that's called. We played together for 4 games, I think 3 or 4 games. So I know I can kind of sneak that out there to him, and I know he's gonna get his release and do what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. I think that Shank. Do you think that the Tennessee game was when he kind of came?
Hey,
I
Shank,
told you,
Shank, tell him to go fuck himself.
I thought that drive was legendary, man. That was. I'm
telling you, man. Ole Miss for me.
It was Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And if you just had to pick a moment where everybody was just like, hold the fuck on, this is a bad motherfucker. I need a button to press. Just the fuck you button is what I need. If you just need a moment, that Texas A&M game where he flatlined that DB on the sideline, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Because who the fuck would expect a quarterback to just put a shoulder into your fucking chest like that?
Yeah, ran him over. That very famous
granted, he's like 6'6", 240, just fucking solid.
Yeah.
Animal.
Look at him now. He's still got that fire, doesn't he?
I wouldn't want to get into a bar fight with him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I. Hey, you know, is the when you find out that you're, I don't know, it'd be more meaningful if Shank said, you know, I don't know how he's on a football field, but if I was in a bar fight, I'd want him on my side. Yeah. That means a lot to me.
That does me
absolutely.
Too. That does me too.
Even though he can't keep the big girls off,
if we ever get into a bar fight,
I'll know. Even though he
I'm
can't
trying
keep
to
the big
avoid
girls
those,
off.
Yeah.
But you know, for somebody to say that means a lot.
Hey,
means a lot. Means you got a lot of heart. You know, and you got your boys back.
And when you talk as much shit as me, you know, it's just good to know somebody's got your back.
If you get into it, I might just be like, he deserved it. He deserved it.
I'm just kidding.
I bet Mick.
I'll call the ambulance.
He just get me into some shit. I can see it. I can see it.
Freaking Nightmare Central over there.
I shouldn't have drank that 32 ounce. It wasn't the 40. It was not a 40. We used to drink the 40s, but they always got hot. Didn't happen today.
That's nuts.
Somebody call Rip. We got to rein this dude in.
You take me to the train station. I'm the director of this circus. Okay.
Yeah, that's a freaking indicator. Hey, press the subscribe button, please.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and do all that. Hey, like and subscribe. Get in the comments section too.
Absolutely.
You guys are hanging out with us here for the show. We appreciate you. Brought to you by mybookie.ag. Use the promo code next round to double your initial deposit as we talk Alabama football with Shank and Jake Coker, and I'm Mick Gillispie. All right. Yeah. I this guy right here is one of my favorite. Like when you say shit and it comes on AL.com,
you're gonna make me blush.
I love it, man. Like, you know, this because we worked at the same radio station. I mean, I never did anything.
Yeah.
But I just remember like reading the stuff or you hearing the stuff that you said. Man, it'd be so fun to be on a show with you every day, you know, because it's like that intelligent sense of humor that I appreciate. Even if I don't agree with you, I just like it, you know, the banter.
I mean, most of the shit, man, I just say first shit that comes to mind, honestly.
Man, I'm shocked.
Now it's coming your way.
I will say,
now it's coming your way.
I will say I've dialed it back quite a bit. You know,
you're a high school coach.
Yeah,
now.
I'm a high school coach now,
much.
so it's just like certain stuff I would have said then that I don't necessarily let fly now because I don't want to like embarrass my administration and like the people.
Well, I'm the same way. I mean, yes, you try to keep between the lines, but when you're just having a good time with the boys, it's tough.
It's tough, man.
Because it's like, I feel like I'm sitting in a garage right now. We're talking, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, on game days, I like to drink. I like to drink.
Yeah,
and Shank Uncut or
Unchained,
depending on who you ask. It comes out.
Great podcast,
depending on where the narrator's from.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, man, like once you've had your,
I think Mick's from south of here.
One slip, the guy dropped a limb on my fence. Okay, you came now and it looks like Baghdad. I took all the trees out.
Yeah, man, I was.
We'll get it fixed though.
I mean, it don't look bad though. It's spacious. It looks better.
Yeah, but once we get some turf out here.
I mean, the grass is up.
Hopefully that's a write-off.
You got to shit.
Hopefully it's a write-off, Shank. This is going to cost me.
He got to film a show out in the backyard.
Man.
Hey, that's why I'm just a guest.
Yeah.
I'm just a guest.
Yeah, we won't be getting subscriptions. You'll be getting donations.
Absolutely.
I know. The scary thing is the tree that was in the deck. had it was hollow, and it was like a 90-foot tree.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we got. And then I'm like,
that tree was pretty big.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, and we were looking at it today. It's got it's just a huge hole now.
Yeah,
but you just don't know with these water oaks, man. You live down here, you get really bad storms and hurricanes and everything else. You do. It's not like
absolutely
the rest of the country. So, it looks terrible though. I got hey, you ruined the whole backyard. I was like, look, I took the trees out and I didn't realize it was going to be this bad.
It's all right, man. It's progress. Baby steps are still progress.
Yeah,
it's still progress.
One thing at a time.
Absolutely.
Talking about progress? What would you, if you looked at Alabama this year, what do you expect from them? Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, Kane Womack.
And so, I mean, common sense would tell me I'd expect them to hit the drawing board, see what worked for them, see what didn't work for them, and see where we can go from there. Okay. And so what we know worked for us defensively was sending pressure. When we sent pressure, we usually got home, right? And so I expect to see more of that next year. And I expect to see people more comfortable in spots next year because this will be the second year in the system, right? And so offensively, what I expect to see is a more established run game. Because, all right, now we've seen that in the SEC, if you want to be successful, you have to establish a run game because a certain level of physicality is needed to be successful consistently. And if people don't have to load the box because we're not sticking to the run game and they're able to just stick to the pass, they don't have to respect it, that makes it bad on us. And that means defense on the field for a little longer. And when the defense has to stay on field for longer, they find more stuff that works against us. And like Vanderbilt and that damn shovel pass.
Man,
which every team we played afterwards.
Every team.
Ran, by the way.
Yep.
And so I expect to see us offensively try to possess the ball a little longer, control the game.
I tell you, I'm unfairly supportive of just, if you don't establish the run game, you're going to have problems, for the rest of the night.
Absolutely.
We've said this before, but just Derek, our offensive line and Derek, when I was there, just just faking the ball to Derek. Those linebackers creep up, even the linebackers that are trying to disrupt the routes from the slot guys. They're biting on that handoff. And then you got Calvin Ridley. When you bring Calvin Ridley or Darius into the slot, and they got a 1-on-1 against a safety who's 12 yards off of them, there's nothing you can do. I don't care if Charles Woodson is back there. You give Calvin Ridley 12 yards to make a move and get vertical
with deep ball Coker.
You ain't stopping it. No, you just you loft it up there and just let him run underneath it. It's just, if he's got 12 yards of cushion with nobody getting him off his route.
Yeah.
And that's what the run game does. It just opens up so many opportunities for the pass game.
Absolutely.
You got to establish it. Otherwise, you got no no chance because you're not winning 12 games consistently throwing the ball.
Right.
No.
You're just not doing it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't. I just unless you can run the ball effectively and make them fear you're not going to be able to throw the ball the majority of the time and win 10 games consistently in the SEC.
When you see Scott Cochran coaching at West Alabama, Shank, do you think like, hey, I need to probably go help him coach a little bit? And I know you guys love him. I've heard the stories before, but did you ever see this as something in his future?
Absolutely. Just because I like to think we're fairly close. You know, we've had some fairly deep conversations, and he's expressed that he wanted to be a head coach one day. And so I seen it coming. And would I want to be a part of his staff? For sure. For sure. That'll be a move I'd love to make. But I'm just happy for him at the end of the day, man. Just after all he's been through, you know, I feel like he's pursuing a pure happiness for the game right now, and I'm just happy that it's working out for him, man. And I'm just happy that he's got better days ahead of him.
Yeah, that's one of those deals where, I'm last one to judge on something like that. I more so, I think, shit, man, what was going on that made him fall off?
Stress.
You know what I mean,
it's just stress, man.
no, that's right.
Career stress.
That's right.
Yeah.
These are tough jobs, man.
Yeah, and at no point in time was I like, did I ever think less of Coach Cochran for anything that happened off field. More so, it was just concern for where's his mind at. You know, is he okay? Because I know he's a great guy. It's just what's he worried about? Is he okay? You know, I mean, mentally, because I feel like when that stuff happens, especially to great guys like him, it's like something is on his mind that he can't shake, and he's got to have something to just help him relax or ease his mind. And I don't know. I guess he felt like he needed something more, but I think him just getting back to the grassroots of football and kids and teaching them, making them better. I think that's going to be the best rehab he's ever had ever.
Absolutely. I mean, man, I can honestly say he was a life changer for me.
Oh, he was.
Just like I'm a kid from Pritchard, Alabama, man. Like,
to me, he's one of the most instrumental guys to step foot in Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In terms of just being a driver and making guys better, but also a psychologist.
Because he's so relatable.
Yeah. Oh, man, you could walk in his office and talk to him, and he was just like, he wasn't just like a drill sergeant, I guess. You know, just this. It was all right. Hey, man, come talk to me, because he saw you every day. He saw if you were having a bad workout, or just he'd call you in his office and he'd talk to you for however long it took.
If Saban was that guy that you were intimidated by, that you might have felt like rode your ass unfairly, Cochran was that guy that made it peace. Like, he was the guy you went to make peace and like be okay with everything.
Man, when I got benched, he was one of the first ones I talked to. I mean, just like
really
great dude, man.
And didn't coach the X's and O's, but he's just like a great guy that he really does care about. He really cared about everybody, and if you worked hard and did what you're supposed to do, you had his respect, and he treated you as a respected part of the puzzle.
So I'm happy for him. Absolutely.
I don't think you'd be hard to find somebody that ever played at Alabama that was in his tenure that didn't love the shit out of him.
I've heard from the guys that were there when he started. Dude, this is
and everybody,
and then they love him.
I never had a real passion to want to go to the collegiate level for coaching. But like he's one of those guys, like, hell yeah, I'll be on your staff if you want me there. You know what I'm saying? Like hell yeah, I'll make that happen. Yeah. He's one of those guys, man. He just
make you think you can run through a brick wall.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. I'm all about that.
Yeah. Hey, so much of life is just having fun and shit that you do.
I'm so damn happy.
He could find a way to channel you.
You know what I mean? Like,
but in a good way, like not a
no.
I don't know, just what he put everything in perspective and made you just I don't know, just made you
thankful for the opportunity. Yeah, like they did a lot of that when you think back on it, man. We did a lot of just fucking changing our thoughts to be more positive and just like you were what you thought, man. Just like the thoughts you put out is what you became.
And I didn't know, we get in here. I don't really know what we're ever going to talk about. I mean, we just kind of talk about shit, but that's my whole day every day.
Yeah.
Is how can I channel positive energy into what I'm doing?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? And it's tough sometimes, right? But if you put positive energy into yourself or what you're doing, and then put positive people around you, you're going to be successful. It's impossible not to be.
I think I think that probably caught it. I mean, I'd love to talk to him about it, just because, I mean, he's so good at what he did, but I'm sure that pressure got to him a little bit, trying to keep everybody motivated all the time. Be the guy that, when he wakes up and he's got problems at home with his kids. Which, I mean, I know nothing about that. I have no idea if that was a
whatever.
I'm just thinking about.
I know what you're saying. You're just
day to day freaking. You're like, dude, I got enough shit on my plate. He's like, and then he's got to go do all this, and he's got all this pressure, and he's so much is expected of him now. Guys on a strength coach on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, man.
Mike Johnson told me he wanted to be the first $1 million strength coach.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But my point is, like, when you go to do your job every day, you're trying to find positive energy, positivity, like, because you're going to do your job better. You're going to have more fun. You go to school every day. You want to be around people that, and me too. Like and when you're around negative energy, it sucks you into that world, right?
Yeah.
He did a great job at that, man. Like thought modeling. Like at the time, I didn't realize how important that was, man.
So important.
It's super important because it goes from like, oh man, I got to work out today, to oh man, I get to work out today.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
man. That's everything.
And like, they did so much of that. And it was so important. He was so good at it, dog. He was so good at it. He's just like, you wake up dragging and you just be like, how many people get to wake up and do this today?
Yeah.
And just like, and you appreciate that later on. It's just damn, how many people?
I mean, you meet you meet a lot of people that I mean, when it's genuine or not.
Absolutely. He'd get you shirt off his back.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he really would.
Yeah.
Like,
and it wouldn't matter if it was, I mean, it didn't matter if it was just people that put everything they had into it.
Right.
You earn respect around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you put forth every bit of effort you had, I mean, he respected that and he appreciated you, and he did everything he could to help you.
And on top of that, the whole hype strength coach trend, let's not act like he didn't start that.
Yeah, he did.
Right, like he got a lot of sons out here.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
There's a lot of Cochran disciples that are his strength coaches now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the question I want to know is, if you're in his house and you get into like a wrestling match and crash through the drywall, how's he treat you?
It's another day at the Cochran house.
Yeah, no.
All right, I tell you, so right before the draft, we're all working out for pro day.
By the way, that was you.
Oh yeah, that was at Pruitt's house.
It was Pruitt.
Yeah, me and Ryan.
Ryan
We were fighting over something at Pruitt's house. And he put a big ass hole in the wall.
Okay.
But what were you saying about pro day?
So we're working out for pro day, and it's kind of at the end of it. And so he invites me and Ryan Kelly and Richard Mulaney and Dylan and Vinny Sinceri over to his house for just a cookout and hang out, and he drops me this pin, and me and Richard and Ryan are all riding together, and we're riding through this nice neighborhood, man. There's hedges are cut, just like trimmed, really nice. Everything in this neighborhood is it's just perfect. And we get closer and closer to this pin, and we get to the pin. There's toys and shit on this roof. There's like a dead spot of grass out in the middle of this front yard,
Yeah.
And we pull up. And we're like, all right, yep, we're here. This is it. This has got to be it, And there's like a mom pulling up with all her, with a soccer mom with all her kids in a van. It's.
Yeah.
And they're getting out, and here comes Scott walking out of his front yard, or walking out of his garage, And we step out and he goes, "What's up, motherfuckers?" and then like these moms are like, "Oh, Scott, how you doing?" It's like, "What's up?" It's like, I mean, just totally complete. It's just Scott Cochran, just it's just him to a T. I mean, yard again, like I said, yard's all jacked up. Kids are playing in the front yard. It's just a madhouse, and he's just, I mean, it's just him, and that's what he does, and he's just transparent. He's transparent. You get what you see is what you get. I mean, the best kind of coach you can ask for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, as we wrap things up on this episode of Elephant in the Room, and I see the disappointment in your eyes right there, but it's been fun, man. I mean, how long have we been at it on this show? Anyway, the advice that you would give to this year's Alabama team. I mean, what would you say? Hey, this is what you guys need to do to get back to what we got to.
Self-accountability.
Yeah.
Don't let the coaches get in the way. You handle it yourself.
Yeah.
That's what that's what we had.
It's just like, man, you know what it takes to be good. You know the type of commitment it takes. Nobody should have to tell you. Like, you don't need a coach to tell you, like, this is the shit you need to do to be really good at this. And it's just like, we knew from day one, like, the shit we do at practice, that's bare minimum. This is like the minimum amount of work you need to put in to be good at this. Like, everything you put in after this is what separates you from everybody else. And so let's not forget the main thing here. The mission is to win it all. It's everything a bust. And it's always been the standard. That's going to remain the standard. And that's the shit they got to buy into, regardless of all the outside noise, NIL, no matter what's going on. Because I can guarantee you Ohio State going to come back harder than ever next year. NIL not. And try to bust people's ass, because that's the standard, right? And that's what they got to buy into.
Well, it was fun.
Always is.
Yeah, great to see you, Shank. Really, man. And don't be such a stranger, man. We talk about you. You probably hear. We talk about you a lot on the shows.
Yeah, man.
It's great to see you in person, man.
It's great to be back, man.
Coker's talking about a studio at his house. So that'd be a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, we gotta. Well,
instead of coming over to Montrose,
Yeah, the recluse. We gotta get him out of there.
Yeah, mind you, I came all the way from Irvington.
Yeah. LA though, all of us now.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you think of the snow?
My kids had an amazing time, dog. Like, we made some legit family memories, because me and my wife, crazy enough, met on the quad snow day. What was that, like 2013, 2014? Whatever that was, we met on the quad snow day. All right. And so to like have a snow day in Mobile with our family, it was a cute ass moment.
Yeah.
Okay. It was some cute shit, man. It was some cute shit.
You always get the lights.
I was waiting on you to get soft here.
Yeah, man.
The kids looked like they were having fun.
Hey, babies, love y'all.
They made a snowman.
We did make a snowman.
Did y'all? We tried.
Jake probably shot it with his gun. Everybody get away. I'll take care of this guy.
Oh my God.
There's rednecks everywhere, four wheelers, just bush lights all over the place.
I bought this 4Runner. I had the exact same one, and we were supposed to move to Chicago, so it was like, well, we need 4-wheel drive, and then we ended up down here. And it's the only time I ever used the 4-wheel drive. I drove to the Montrose post office to see if it worked. Like, whoop, came
just
back.
to see if it worked.
It's the first time I've ever used it. 4 years. 5 years, man. Anyway, well, great to see all you guys. And thank you, everyone that watched. Make sure you get in the comment section. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and check us out on covercrimson.com, mybookie.ag, promo code. Next round to double your initial deposit. Basketball. Should I have asked you about basketball?
Let's see how Saturday goes.
Let's see how Saturday goes. Shank, you got to
see
come
how
back.
Kentucky goes.
Yeah, come back and hang out with us again soon. But thank you guys for being here. And roll tide.